A person of great virtue can see it. Those with deep meditation skills, well, that's even more obvious. I can see the light radiating from you. A person who practices Qigong refers to it as Qi. Those who practice meditation refer to it as light. From the size and color of your light, I can see you as a person. A heart-shaped mountain fog. A kind heart, compassion, good deeds, and goodness are placed in that light, and the golden light is the most abundant and the best. The second is yellow. The tone is a bit off. So why do spirits and deities respect practitioners? It's because they've seen it. This ability needs to be cherished. Spirits and deities have a way of repaying kindness and have 5 forms of communication. He sees that good people, not just practitioners, have kind hearts and perform compassionate deeds. How wonderful is that light? Spirits and deities see it and show respect. I wouldn't dare to harm. In the light of day, one can use light to express the shadowy self. So that's the second meditation. When it comes to communication between people, there's no need to talk. Talking can be quite exhausting, you know. Talking too much can drain your energy and harm your body. So they, back and forth, radiating light. It's their release. What about the light that others see? They understand everything it means. Language is quite limited. Language is quite clumsy, isn't it? Above the second meditation. Let's not use words at all. Use light instead. A third meditation, that's even higher with a much purer heart. These 3 altars are called the altars of respect. Respect the boundless heavens, honor the heavens everywhere. It's also about having a pure heart. In terms of differences. These are 3 bodies of the 3 meditations. So the 3 lights and 3 purities all talk about the benefits of public resentment. Sichuan, now that's something special. There are a total of 9 different kinds in the 4 heavens, right? This is the 9 heavens. The Father of Heaven, the Father of Love, the Ancient Heaven. This is the 4th meditation, similar to the 3rd meditation we talked about earlier. In Foshan, the Buddha's love is vast and ancient, so the 4th meditation is called the Buddha Heaven. The blessings are at their peak. Well done, not quite. There's no mountain disaster over there at all. This mountain disaster is something that's often talked about. Floods, water disasters, wind disasters. Fires can destroy the produce. The 1st meditation heaven. There's a mountain village there too. They can't be avoided. The 2nd meditation is about water disasters. The water can flood the 2nd production area. So in the second meditation heaven, there's really nothing good going on. Water and wind issues. What about the third meditation heaven? A pure heart. In the water margin, there's nothing going on during the year. He's got wind. In the fourth meditation, this person has great blessings, and there are none of these three disasters. The earth, water, and floods are all absent. This earth and water flood is called the Big Mountain Village. This is mentioned in the Buddhist scriptures, this big mountain village and small mountain village. It's the festival of weapons and soldiers, a time for warmth and gathering. It's just loneliness and famine. This little genius. So, the meaning of the great mountain disaster and the small mountain disaster that the Buddha spoke of is quite hard for us to understand. In the past, I read scriptures. It's all a bit vague and muddled. As for the rewards, they were vaguely and generally interpreted according to the ancient texts. I'll look for you again. I went to Japan for a visit. I visited Hiroshima and Nagasaki sites. Buddha's small three disasters means nuclear war. I suddenly realized, those small three disasters that the Buddha spoke of is indeed nuclear war. The places where the atomic bombs exploded. So that's the street of conflict. We fought with the Japanese for 8 years. So that's not the small mountain village, is it? Nuclear war is the small three disasters. That's why the Buddha mentioned it in the scriptures. How long did the conflict last? 7 days and 7 nights. The 7 days, 7 nights of war is a disaster of swords and weapons. Alas, we fought the Japanese for 8 years. It was not considered a war. The world wars were minor. Post-explosion. It was only after the nuclear war, after the atomic bombs exploded, that we suddenly realized the Buddha was talking about this very thing. After the explosion. This radiation. 7 months and 7 days. If you can survive 7 months and 7 days, then your life must be pretty lucky, eh? Some people weren't killed instantly in the blast. They suffered from the effects of the radiation created at that time. After 7 months, during those 7 months, hey, can he survive long enough to draw a conclusion? Only radiation is called a plague. So it turns out a plague is something like this. The disaster of being infected with diarrhea. In the big places. The Japanese told us. By the 8th year, the grass finally started to grow on the ground. Now we understand. The hunger that the Buddha talked about lasted for 7 years, 7 months and 7 days. Then anything starts to grow on the ground. If there's no grass or trees growing on the ground, then people feel lonely. So consider how much more powerful are today's nuclear weapons than Hiroshima's. Even in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, by year 8, grass started growing. You mean this shooting site was severely bombed? By the 8th year in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the grass was starting to grow on the ground. So, the Third World War is what the Buddha referred to as the small 3 years of the path. The Great Mountain Jai is the sole leaf of the planet. The fiery star we see today, that's just a sea of flames, isn't it? The sun is like a massive ocean of fire. So it's really hard for us to understand the situation in the Great Mountain Jai. Now, the situation in the Little Mountain Jai, we can sort of grasp a bit of it. It's really terrifying. So the fourth meditation is the field of blessings. The mountain village can't reach that. In Great System Theory, Buddha tells us heavenly beings meditate and focus. If you only practice meditation and don't cultivate blessings, where's that kind of great blessing? So he needs to cultivate the four immeasurables: compassion, joy, giving, and letting go. This is the intention of the heavenly beings. He doesn't miss out on a good feed. Giving and sharing is really important. The more you give, the more joy you'll have. So he can make it happen. He's munching away. This is how it can be done. With his meditative skills, he rises to a higher level. Standing. The differences in Sichuan are also the precursor to meditation. How much has been repaired? And the differences that arise from it. In Sichuan, there's also a special place called the Hole of No Thought. The Buddha tells us in the scriptures that this is an outsider's topic. Most of the time, people studying Buddhism misunderstand the Buddha's meaning. Motivation. In concentration, there are no thoughts. Why do thoughts not arise? If you successfully cultivate to the state of nothingness, then you can be reborn in that place. There's focus, not wisdom. That's wrong. The meaning of meditation is that in focus there is the eye of wisdom. Channel is an irony, which means to seduce others. It's called stillness contemplation. Jing refers to the effort in observing, meaning one has clarity. When thoughts don't arise, all is clear. Not stuck in a deadlock. When thoughts don't arise, everything is clear and understood. That's what we call meditation. If you only have no thoughts arising and don't know anything outside, that's not going to work, mate. This is concentration without wisdom, mate. When you successfully cultivate like this, you'll end up in the state of nothingness in the future. So the practice of Buddhism is about balancing concentration and wisdom, called meditation. Shengmo, he is Pingmo Jenna. Envy him for making mistakes on the mat. Pai Fujo Na is translated as visualization, or it can also be translated as observation, or seeing. It has these meanings. Just focusing on one side. Can't achieve anything at all. Concentration confuses. Cultivate. Cultivate to nothingness. Focus prevents illness. Those who only practice concentration won't get sick. The mind is like a feather floating. There are a lot of delusions. As for why we focus on meditation, it's because meditation is about balancing concentration and wisdom. Concentration and wisdom are balanced. This practice is the right one. What about the next part? There are 5 types. It's the dwelling place of the sages. Wu Fanqian, the sky without heat, the sky with good vision, the sky with good appearance, the sky with ultimate color. It's usually referred to as the 5 non-returners. Who lives there? The little city of the 3 kingdoms. It's also called the pure abode heaven. The 4 meditations depict people and saints living together. In the realm of ordinary beings, Buddha monks and the love of the Buddha are all about this state of nothingness. These 4 types of heavenly beings can't be sane. Evidence is natural. You can't see them. We know they are practicing in this place, but we can't see them. Just like in our world, our earth is also a thriving and dominant land. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Arhats live in our place, but we humans can't see them. You all. With this, the compassionate Samadhi water, you see it talks about the place of the Venerable Jia in Sichuan. If an ordinary person goes there, in the desolate mountains, you won't see anything at all. When Wu Da passed away, he saw the majestic place of practice. You can only see it with the language of the practice. Without that language, you can't see it. The notice of the turnover. So what does the scripture tell us? If the Venerable One hasn't entered Nirvana yet? At Chickenfoot Mountain, yeah. Hey, he often comes out, but we don't recognize him. Then it will change. He has to wait for Maitreya Buddha to come into the world. He passed on the robe and bowl of Shakyamuni Buddha to him. So it says in the scriptures that Maitreya Buddha will come into the world after 5.6 billion years. So the Venerable One has to wait such a long time. When the mind is pure, life is free and easy. You can stay as long as you like. It's no trouble at all. So I encourage everyone. Make a vow, you'll struggle. Take charge, or fate controls you. If you're not willing to take charge of your life, you'll definitely be at the mercy of fate. You can't escape your fate. You must make a great vow and be selfless for others. Only can you find true ease. Living freely, having a long life. Everything is at ease, and teaching is effortless. There's not a single thing in all your endeavors that isn't free and easy. Experience beyond imagination. Why not make a vow? The Tang dynasty. Master Fazhao. A Pure Land sects. 4th generation patriarch. He met the great sage Manjushri at Wutai Mountain, at the Bamboo Grove Temple. These are the people with a connection. He saw Manjushri not writing. Seeing over 10,000 people at the Dharma assembly. At the gathering, Manjushri Bodhisattva was giving teachings, and he heard a line of it. He also sought advice from Manjushri Bodhisattva. Buddhism has already entered the final age. The people in the final age have a rather dull nature. He asked Manjushri what practice would be easier to achieve success in. Manjushri Bodhisattva taught him the practice of reciting the Buddha's name to seek rebirth. Fazhao was originally focused on Zen meditation. Let's chat about the teachings of Manjushri Bodhisattva. Make a vow to focus on saying the Buddha's name. He asked how to recite the Buddha's name. Manjushri Bodhisattva taught him the method of reciting the Buddha's name. After that, he left Wutai Mountain. After leaving, he marked the way, worried about getting lost, thinking he'd come back next time, But after making a few plans to return, the temple was gone, just a desolate mountain. I only just realized how incredible it is. The temple is gone. This diagram of the ordinary and the sacred, ordinary people can't see it. They don't have the connection to witness the realm of the saints. In our Saha world, we often talk about the flourishing notifications of the 3 places. Our world is one of them. The 4th heaven of the desire realm is one place. The blockage in the heavens, blocking the inner essence of Maitreya Bodhisattva's Dharma realm. The unique leaders, angels can't see. I've only heard about it, but I don't know where it is. The heavenly beings in the 4th heaven, I don't look at the heavens. This is the flourishing coexistence of the 3 places. They are practicing here. Even though they are all saints from the 3 kingdoms. Why is it called not returning, no longer coming to the desire realm? He is achieving his goals here. We often talk about those with sharp faculties. He is right, here in the 5 steps to heaven. Right here, you can directly attain the Arhat fruit, transcending the 3 realms, transcending the 6 realms of samsara. The Arhat of the sharp faculties, and those with dull faculties. If they are dull-witted. He still needs to pass through the 4 emptiness heavens. Then can one escape from the 3 realms. So for those with sharp intellect, they don't need to go through this realm of nothingness. They can directly attain Arhat. So that's how you escape the 3 realms. So this is the heavenly beings of the near realm. The 5 steps to heaven, we don't need to go into more detail about that. This is within the 3 realms. The afflictions of perception and thought. It's talking about asterisk asterisk. The 3 realms. That's a top tier. These 3 realms are divided into 9 levels. Each level, the 9 grades. 9 times 9, 81 grades of the 4 doors. You can only completely sever it by reaching this 5 steps to heaven. To completely sever it, one must surpass the Arhat. Sakyamuni Buddha appeared in the world back in the day. Under the Bodhi tree. It's the heart, city walls. After becoming a Buddha, it's all about planting the seeds of teaching. To teach and guide sentient beings, there needs to be someone asking for it, you know. No one is asking. Buddhism. There's nothing more I can do. Who in the world knows Sakyamuni Buddha? Who knows this is a person of great wisdom? Who knows the new great master? In this world, no one is there to remind us. In such a situation, the Buddha is about to enter nirvana. Buddha's final passing. The heavenly beings see it as great. They saw the realization of Sakyamuni Buddha and quickly got off to ride. He lives in the Tian Shan mountains nearby, waiting for our prayers. That is why the Buddha worked for 80 years and taught us the sutras and the Dhamma for more than 300 sessions. We should be grateful to the heavenly beings living in the Tian Shan mountains. If they don't ask for the teachings, how in our world would we even hear the Buddha's Dharma? So they are also very compassionate, feeling for all the suffering beings, encouraging the request for the Tathagata's teachings. Behind the scenes, there's Moses guarding the heavenly realm. So some often mention Moses' hand. Logic is the ultimate realm of form. Why do we need to put it here? Are we going to list a name separately? Well, this scripture also has its numbers. Moses is the one in charge of the heavenly beings nearby. That meaning isn't too bad. That's me. This heavenly realm nearby is all about that. This one, the one most respected. This great virtue is called Moses Xinglu. You see, this is the great freedom in meditation. So Moses Xinglu can also be called the embodiment of great freedom. This is the 18th level of the underworld, and I'll just keep it simple and introduce it here. The next line is about flying, but not really flying. Oh dear, the 2 characters nai are omitted. This is talking about the 4 emptiness points. 5, the formless realm, without seeing the heavens and the earthly beings. Honestly, the royal court is really clever, very wise. in China. Ancient times. Laozi. It arose with debates. There were arguments during the spring and autumn period. At the same time as Confucius, older than Confucius. The Germans are clever. They say, I have a great worry, only I have life. I have a great worry. What worry? I have a body. Life is the root of suffering, you know. If only I didn't have a body, how free I'd be. High-level anti-corruption, So he knows that the body is the root of suffering. How to get rid of life and death. Don't be born. So he despises this physical body. Strengthen its concentration skills. He can indeed let go of this physical body. Let it go. Left. How do we elevate ourselves further? We common folks talk about the critical point. According to Buddhist teachings, there is only consciousness, no physical form. So this kind, we call it the 5 desires. Yeah. Heaven beings want to break free. It's a serious offense.